Our next topic introduces you to the concept of resistance training. Here we will introduce you to the various forms of resistance training along with sample movements. Resistance training involves the muscles moving against an external resistance. This involves various types of activities, such as running up a hill or jumping. However, the most common form of resistance training is lifting weights. Common goals of the general population may often include weight loss, increasing lean muscle mass, or getting stronger and more powerful. Regardless of the goal you may have, resistance training can be an effective way in achieving any of these fitness goals. Consider resistance training as an umbrella term for many different training methods that will assist you in achieving your primary goal. Benefits. There are many benefits associated with resistance training, from a performance standpoint to general health and well-being. Benefits of resistance training include improved physical performance, increases in lean muscle mass, decreased body fat, and improved self-esteem. Resistance training has also been shown to enhance cardiovascular health by assisting in the prevention and management of type 2 diabetes, reducing resting blood pressure, decreasing LDL cholesterol, and increasing HDL cholesterol. Resistance training is also beneficial for the older adult by reducing the risk of trips and falls, and subsequently reducing the severity of injury by improving movement control, functional independence, promotion of bone development, and maintaining muscle mass. It may also be effective for reducing low back pain and easing the discomfort associated with arthritis and fibromyalgia. It has also been shown to reverse specific aging factors in skeletal muscle. For these reasons, resistance training should form an integral part of any exercise program for either performance, aesthetics, or for health promotion. Types of resistance training. There are various methods of resistance training depending on your goal, whether it be strength, increasing muscle mass, or muscular endurance. Anatomical adaptation. Strength. Hypertrophy. Muscular endurance. There are load and repetition guidelines for the different types of resistance training. Load is controlled by a percentage of your 1 repetition maximum. That is, the heaviest weight you can lift for 1 repetition for a particular exercise. Please view the accompanying table for load and repetition guidelines on the different types of resistance training. This aims to ensure that the individual is prepared to train more intensely by building a foundation from which future exercise practices are developed. This is an appropriate starting point for any novice or advanced athlete after a lengthy break. The ability of the muscular system to produce force against an external resistance. Training specifically to increase maximum strength will increase the highest force the muscular system can generate during maximum contraction. This type of training aims to increase the size of the muscle. A bigger muscle can produce more force, so it will help with the strength development. This refers to the ability of the muscular system to produce force in a repetitive fashion for an extended period of time. PMRS guideline. When introducing an exercise, the PMRS guideline will allow you to develop a safe and progressive training plan. This guideline shows how to progress and exercise safely and effectively. Posture and position, movement, resistance, speed. A proper starting posture is critical for correct exercise execution. Flexibility, stability, and mobility are important for the starting position, and so posture is not compromised throughout the movement. Ensure the exercise is executed with the correct movement pattern through the desired range of motion. If you are unable to perform the movement pattern correctly, it should not be loaded until you have developed adequate posture and movement. Once you can move through the desired range of motion under control and with the correct technique, adding resistance should be considered. This refers to the speed of execution of the exercise and should only be considered once you've demonstrated adequate technique and posture with additional resistance. Manipulation of speed may only be suitable for advanced lifters who may want to develop power to become more explosive. Resistance training exercise selection. In general, we aim to train movements for overall health, not individual muscles. However, depending on your goal, such as with hypertrophy, you may wish to isolate muscles. Most activities in both sport and daily life are multi-joint movements using several muscles. If we train individual muscles, we may not develop important movement patterns that are required for daily and sporting activities. When considering exercise selection, it is important to ensure there is balance between exercises. This may refer to adequate balance between upper and lower body movements, or balance between pushing and pulling movements. Understanding balance between movements will allow us to devise an effective exercise program and ensure posture is maintained and not compromised by an imbalance due to inappropriate programming. Here we examine a classification of movement types. Upper body. Pull. To move an object in a direction that is toward you. For example, a dumbbell row. Push. To use force to move an object forward or away from you. For example, the bench press. Lower body. Hip dominant is where the glutes and hamstrings are the prime movers during the exercise. For example, the deadlift. Knee dominant. This is where the quads are the prime movers during the exercise. For example, the squat. Note that there are many exercises at your disposal, and not every exercise will fall into a particular classification, as there may be some overlap amongst certain movements. Resistance training exercise technique. Here we demonstrate correct technique for some key exercises. First, we describe some common bodyweight exercises. This is an important starting point in resistance training before adding additional resistance with weights and other equipment, as it prepares the body for subsequent training and teaches appropriate technique for the movement pattern. Press up. Begin with hands shoulder width apart. Ensure there is a straight line from head to toe. During the movement, we want to see an arrow position with elbows pointing backwards to about 45 degrees. While maintaining the straight line from head to toe, lower the chest towards the ground and press up to the starting position to complete one repetition. Pull up. To begin, grip the bar approximately shoulder width apart or slightly wider with palms facing away from you. Drop into a full hang with elbows extended. Drive your elbows back towards the floor to pull yourself upwards until your chin goes over the bar. Slowly lower back into the hang position to complete one full repetition. Inverted row. Grip the bar shoulder width apart or slightly wider. Engage the glutes to create a straight line from head to toe. Pull chest towards the bar. Slowly lower back to the starting position to complete one full repetition. Body weight squat. Feet in a comfortable stance width, with toes slightly pointing out. While looking straight ahead, slowly sit back into the squat. Ensure knees track over the toes. Squat to a comfortable depth, but ideally until the thighs are parallel to the ground. Maintain a neutral spine throughout. Drive feet through the floor and return to the starting position. Forward lunge. Standing tall with feet together. Step forward to a comfortable distance. Torso may be slightly inclined or upright. Drop down under control with trail knee towards the ground. Front knee tracks over the toes. Drive through the front foot to return to the start position. Hip hinge. Stand tall with arms across the chest to begin. Unlock the knees slightly. Push the hips back and allow the torso to incline forward. Maintain a neutral curve of the spine. External resistance. There are various tools and methods to add external resistance to an exercise. Barbells, dumbbells, kettlebells, resistance bands. Additional resistance will be required to progress with the development of maximal strength or hypertrophy. resistance training exercise technique. Here we demonstrate a correct technique for some key exercises. Romanian deadlift. Grip the bar approximately shoulder width apart. Stand tall. Unlock the knees slightly. Push the hips back and allow the torso to incline forward. Maintain neutral curve of the spine. Ensure the barbell does not pull the torso forward. Bench press. Grip the bar with a medium grip, which is generally slightly wider than shoulder width. Unrack the bar and slowly lower under control until the bar touches the chest. During the movement, we should see the elbows form an arrowhead position. Press the bar upwards explosively to return to the starting position. Dumbbell reverse lunge. Hold a dumbbell in each hand. Step backward to a comfortable distance. Torso may be slightly inclined or upright. Drop down under control with the trail knee toward the ground. Front knee tracks over the toes. Drive through the front foot to return to the start position. Single arm bent over row. Place hand flat on the bench. Maintain a flat back or neutral spine position that is approximately horizontal to the ground. Pull the dumbbell towards you by driving the elbow upwards. Maintain control throughout the movement without any rotation of the torso. Conclusion. We have now completed the section on resistance training. We have identified the positive benefits of resistance training, both from a performance standpoint and for general health. Depending on your fitness goal, there are various types of resistance training to fit your needs. Once you have established your goal, the PMRS guideline will assist you in developing a safe and progressive training plan. When designing an exercise plan, it is important to have balance between exercises. We classified upper body movements into pushing and pulling, and classed lower body movements into hip and knee dominant movements. Your plan should include an appropriate balance between all movements. Finally, to assist you on your journey, we outlined appropriate technique for several common movements with key teaching points.